Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I just want to give a small update on how the negative project is going. If you are just tuning in and catching this video, the last video I posted on my channel, I have a giant box of old negatives that I kind of inherited from my family, from my grandfather that took them. Go check out the last video. I will also link it above so you can check that out as well. It kind of goes over the story of how I got these all these negatives. But I just wanted to reach out and thank the viewers of the channel. Paul, there's definitely appreciated for that. A few of the viewers have put me kind of in the right direction in terms of getting these scanned and started to catalog some of these negatives, which I have started to do. And I posted on my community tab. One of the first set of negatives I discovered in going through these, there's easily a couple thousand negatives to go through. And one of the ones I did notice that my grandfather, he labeled some of the envelopes that they were in. So that was kind of what caught my eye. And there was ones that were from the Clive Beatty Circus, when the circus came to town. Now, my grandfather, he lived in Victoria, British Columbia. And in 1951, I did a bit of Googling. In 1951, the Clyde Beatty Circus came into town in the middle of July for a couple days, and the photos that I grabbed and was able to scan were of the circus being set up. So the train arriving, the elephants coming out of all the boxcars, the animals there's some horses, and they're basically setting up all the tents. And it's interesting to see the history of this. You can kind of see from the crowds of people coming around. It's something that the people really, the people at the time really, and the kids really wanted to go and see this like spectacular thing that was showing up in their city. Definitely a different time than today. You can really notice that. I don't know if the circus definitely doesn't come to town. It definitely doesn't come to town with animals anymore, and it most definitely doesn't come into town rolling in on a train. Now, I did a bit of research as well, and the Clive Beatty Circus went away from using trains to travel and went into vehicles and trucks eventually. But kind of neat to see this history back in 1951. There's about 20 photos that I found from that. So, that's a lot of one sheet photo to take with that camera. A lot different than today shooting digital. And I scanned using, now thanks to Paul for the suggestion. Now I picked up on eBay, I picked up, this is just a LED light table and quite inexpensive. It worked out to be about $30 Canadian. I will leave a link to the one that I picked up down in the description below. Some more expensive ones, but because this is kind of a new, little project I'm trying, I'm not going to be investing a ton of money until I kind of figure out what works the best. This has been working okay. And then there is a couple of apps you can actually download from your app. I use an Android phone, and I found that one of the free apps was there's a Kodak app for negatives. I will leave a link to the name and that in the description below. So if you have some old negatives and you want to give this a try, you can certainly do it quite inexpensively. Now, if you don't want to invest in the light table, another tip I found on YouTube was basically just use your computer monitor. Now, that being said, it's not the greatest, because if you're using a computer monitor, you will kind of see the little pixels almost behind the negative when you take that photo. But it's a matter of putting the negative onto the LED light table or in front of like a white light, and shooting it with that Kodak app on your camera, and it converts that black and white negative to color, or not to color, sorry, it converts that black and white negative to a black and white print. And it does an okay job. These negatives, I'm finding they're quite old, so some of them will have to be cleaned. Some of them are obviously damaged. They've been sitting in a box for, since the 1950s. So there's definitely not pristine negatives, but it was fun to see these photos. Thanks everybody for your tips, and I will keep kind of sharing these as I kind of find them on the channel if people find useful. But that being said, I will start to kind of share them over on my community tab, because it's a little bit different than Fujifilm. Obviously, it's not a Fuji camera or anything like that, but I've got some ideas for this project. But I will start to share those photos on my community tab. But I've also started a Medium blog. So if you read any Medium posts, I will link to that down in the description as well. You can check out a Medium. What I'll be doing is posting the photos on there, because it doesn't, YouTube, if I'm posting them on my community tab, it kind of crops them to like a 1.1 ratio, which isn't the best thing for all these photos sometimes. So Medium will let me upload the photos in basically full size and how they were meant to be, or how they were taken by my grandfather. So if you're interested in checking those out, I have my first Medium post up with these photos from the Clive Beatty Circus. Check out the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, everybody. Just enjoying this project, and thanks for all the help from everybody to help me out, point me in the right direction. We'll catch you all in the next video.